Are you looking for an experienced speaker who is both authentically enthusiastic and credible to engage, educate, and energize your program participants? Well, look no further. Karen Collins is a registered dietitian, writer, and speaker. Karen shows people how to take a healthy lifestyle from daunting to doable.
That Karen really had a great message and conveyed that information succinctly and clearly and in a real energetic way, and was a fabulous speaker.
Yeah, I learned a lot. A terrific speaker, inspiring as well as factual.
See physical activity as being a weight loss thing. And so they give up because they think it doesn't matter, and nothing could be further from the truth. When you walk today, you are changing what's going on inside you today.
I would have won the award, I'm sure, for least likely to become a dietitian. When I was young, I did not eat vegetables. The only things I ate were corn, potatoes, and iceberg lettuce if it was smothered with Thousand Island dressing. And, you know, I'd fish, if there were carrots in the soup, I'd fish out those little pieces of carrots because I didn't want them messing up the soup.
I help people make sense of current research and put it into the big picture of overall health. I show people how to set priorities and focus on lifestyle choices that make a difference. I show them how to take a healthy lifestyle from daunting to doable. Most Americans get about 50% of their vegetables from just 3 choices. Name them. Potatoes, 1. Corn, maybe it's a Minnesota thing, but not nationally, no? 50% of Americans' vegetables, right there, folks, from the amount of processed food we're eating. And if the salt shaker is the only thing you change, you're not going to make it.
Absolutely fantastic speakers. He covered the right information, the right amount of time, and honing on the message really well.
It felt doable and tangible, which is, I think, the biggest barrier. People don't even know where to start. So she gave them a really tangible, smart way to take that first step.
People appreciate my expertise in combining an understanding of current research and lessons learned about how to help people change their habits. I'm a registered dietitian with many years as nutrition advisor to the American Institute for Cancer Research and expertise in cancer prevention. What excites me is how to put what we've learned into an overall protective, positive lifestyle. From my grad school research to my years in private practice doing nutrition counseling, I'm passionate about helping people find a healthy lifestyle that's realistic for them. How many of you have seen the movie Titanic? Would you raise your hands? Most of you. And then the scene shifted to the watchman on guard in the dark. And we saw with him an iceberg coming up, looming out of nowhere. And he frantically called the captain, who valiantly tried to move the ship out of the way in time before it hit the iceberg. And we're all sitting there, even though we know the end of the movie. Well, go, steer it, you can do it. Okay, now we're going to turn our attention elsewhere, but I'd like you to just hold that image in your mind for a bit, okay? And not only is diabetes associated with an increased incidence of cancer, but among patients who have cancer, those with pre-existing diabetes have a 40 to 50% higher mortality rate. You see that iceberg getting closer, don't you? It's time for a paradigm shift. And in fact, when we take whole grains and refine them, we remove about 70% of the antioxidant flavonoid phytochemicals. So whole grains are more than just their fiber. And what we're discovering that's very exciting is that they actually seem to not only each have individual mechanisms, but they work best when they work together. And that's why it's so important to eat a plant-based diet where we get this broad variety of phytochemicals. If you're going to eat garlic and have it cooked, that's the first thing you do, is chop your garlic. And then you prepare all the other stuff before you cook your garlic. And that way the active component in garlic that's protective has had a chance to form.
And I think I can really apply this to the patients that I serve in the community and actually giving them resources on how to reduce the risk of cancer, about how to eat healthier, how to become more physically active, and how important that is to reducing cancer risk. I really enjoyed it, very informational, and definitely think she's an expert in the field.
The whole concept of linking cancer risk with diabetes and cardiovascular disease, they all are interrelated. And it's really, really great that someone's probably finally bringing that to focus.
The key many people find to producing healthy meals is some sort of planning, so that you have the stuff there to make when you get home at the end of the day. This is a group that's used to not planning anything. They don't know what they're doing 10 minutes from now. So the concept of planning meals seems like, whoa, that's way too structured. They don't understand that meal planning can be flexible.
In studies like the WELL study of breast cancer survivors, actually when they adopted this healthy diet, they spent about $1.22 more per week on groceries. So we need to show people that yes, if your perception of eating healthy means buying the specially labeled healthy food that you pay 3 times as much for, it will cost you more. But if you're talking about eating more beans and less red meat, about not eating such big portions, about spending less money on soft drinks, when you're using less high-priced convenience foods and making less processed food, you can do this economically.
Let's think about how we can increase their self-efficacy, how we can empower them to feel confident they can do this, they can make these choices.
She's making it very simple for us and this audience, but there's deep knowledge and deep layers underneath it that she really gets her stuff.
She qualified it by saying this is proven, this is likely, and since the audience is diverse, you had laypersons, you had community health workers, you had researchers. She made sure that all the information that she provided was research-based, and she qualified it and prioritized.
She was a fabulous speaker.
I speak to a wide range of groups, and I love it all. I'm often speaking at conferences for health professionals, including dietitians, nurses, diabetes educators, cancer care navigators, and physicians, cancer survivors, and the general public. Some groups want me to focus on the science behind recommendations for nutrition so that they can better understand nutrition news they hear. Other groups want me to discuss the recommendations to reduce cancer risk and look at how that fits with the general overall healthy lifestyle and share tips for putting those recommendations into practice. Healthy eating choices involve more than just knowing what to do, though. I love sharing what I've learned from research and years of counseling clients about how to get beyond the barriers posed by negative self-talk and rigid dieting rules to change people's self-talk and help them make healthy eating truly doable.